Have you ever wondered why some people always create negative vortices and drag everyone around them into a storm of negative emotions? Have you ever looked at yourself and asked if you might be becoming the very person others have to be wary of or avoid? Could it be that these toxic signs are quietly growing in the way you think, act, and interact with society? Today, let us explore 15 crucial indicators that you might be turning into a toxic person in the social sphere, and more importantly, discover how to fix each behavior through Stoicism so that you can regain positivity and build yourself up in a sustainable way. The aim here is to help you recognize these issues early and transform them before they destroy your relationships and, more importantly, your own personal well-being. Sign 1. Always seeing yourself as a victim and believing the world is unfair to you. Have you ever questioned why others can go far, achieve success, but you remain stuck in the same place? Have you ever told yourself they succeeded only because they were lucky, while you keep failing because your fate is unfortunate? If so, this could be a sign of a toxic mindset, because when you persist in viewing yourself as a victim, you unintentionally strip away all opportunities for growth. You see no motivation to move forward, and you refuse to take responsibility for your own actions. A woman who constantly complains that she can't advance because her boss favors men, because her coworkers play dirty, or because her family situation holds her back, yet never considers that she hasn't tried learning new skills or making a clear career plan, is a vivid example of a toxic presence in society. How does Stoicism help you avoid a victim mindset? Remember Epictetus, who reminds us that we cannot control all circumstances, but we can always control how we react. Rather than blaming the world, focus on what you can do and fully own every action you take. A simple exercise is that each time you want to blame someone or complain, ask, have I done my very best for this situation, or am I just sitting still and casting blame or waiting for someone else to save me? When you look back and see there was more you could have done, agree with yourself to act on it right away and stop embracing the victim narrative. This is how you stop viewing yourself as a victim and learn to take responsibility for your life according to Stoic principles. Sign 2. Liking to gossip, talk down about others, or belittle them just to feel better about yourself. Have you ever found yourself switching into predatory mode the moment you see someone gain recognition or achieve something, simply because you feel left out or displaced? If this behavior occurs frequently, you might be embodying a negative habit where tearing someone down becomes a false source of ego gratification. When you lack the capacity to shine through your own merit, you try to dim someone else's light. Take the example of seeing a new girl open a tea shop that attracts tons of customers. Instead of congratulating her and learning from her, you immediately claim she's got connections or resorts to aggressive discounts rather than real business strategy. In Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius warns us, never waste your energy proving others are inferior. Focus on how to become better than your yesterday self. This means self-improvement should always come first. Rather than criticizing others, start by asking, what are my weak points and what can I do today to improve? Wasting time on mockery won't make you stronger. It only makes you smaller in your own eyes. Sign 3. Always thinking you are superior and never acknowledging anyone else's worth. Have you ever heard that one stops growing the moment they believe they're already good enough? Arrogance is a dangerous toxin in society, because when you're too full of yourself, you fail to see real value in others, and you also fail to see your own mistakes. For instance, you join a discussion but never listen to anyone because you think you already know everything, so there's no point in talking much. Stoicism offers Seneca's advice. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more than you speak. If you always believe you're at the top, you'll have no motivation to learn or grow further. Worse still, when you constantly see others as inferior, you'll develop a dismissive attitude that can rob you of valuable collaborations. Make it a habit to ask yourself every day, what have I learned from the people around me? If the answer is nothing, then maybe you didn't listen enough. Focusing on self-improvement is the best way to break free from the complacency that comes with arrogance. Sign 4. Quick to judge and force your values on others, assuming your lifestyle is the only right way. Have you ever met someone who demands everyone follow their lead as the ideal standard? If they like reading, they scoff at those who watch movies. If they're vegetarian, they scorn anyone who eats meat, calling it unsophisticated. This is a subtle toxic mindset because you believe you're upholding the truth, when in reality, you're failing to respect others' diverse choices. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that our goal is not to bend the whole world to our will, but to adapt our own mind to embrace and love its variety. If you feel irritated whenever you see someone do things differently, that is a sign you're showing a lack of open-mindedness. Try asking, does their action really impact me? If not, why am I bothered? Why not coexist among differences? Everyone has their own purpose and path. Imposing your values does not make you more respected, it only makes you lose society's respect. Sign 5. Enjoying manipulating others' emotions by pouting or pretending to be hurt so they comply with your wishes. Have you ever used tears to push someone into doing what you want, or stayed silent on purpose just to make the other person feel guilty and come running to comfort you? Weaponizing emotion may earn you short-term gains, but it ultimately makes you difficult to be around and destroys trust with those who matter most. In Stoicism, Epictetus reminds us that a strong individual is one who governs their own emotions, not anyone else's. If you want help, ask for it directly and openly. If somebody refuses, even if they owe you a favor, respect their decision. Deliberately pushing them into feeling guilty does not secure the love or concern you truly desire. Remember, others have feelings too, and if you keep exploiting them, they will eventually reach a breaking point and walk away. Sign 6. Constantly wanting attention by creating unnecessary drama or fighting for the spotlight in group settings. Have you ever been in a situation where your friend group is gathering and someone is sharing an exciting achievement, but you immediately interrupt with a story that isn't even relevant, just to shift everyone's focus onto you? If that happens often, you might be a toxic person who values attention over respect. Stoicism shows that Marcus Aurelius never had to shout, "I'm here," for people to acknowledge him. He proved his worth through actions and real achievements. Rather than trying to derail others' attention, ask yourself, do I really have something of value to share? If not, then work on listening more and responding in a supportive way. True value will naturally shine at the right time and place. Sign 7. Never owning up to mistakes, always looking for excuses, or putting blame on someone else whenever things go wrong. You often say, I only did this because my life is hard, or if you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have reacted this way. That's a toxic way of thinking because you refuse to take responsibility for your words and actions. Over time, you'll find it even harder to grow because you never admit fault. According to Stoic principles, true strength lies in the ability to acknowledge and fix your mistakes. Marcus Aurelius understood that even an emperor can and should accept mistakes quickly to keep the empire healthy. If someone who ruled an empire could still admit wrongdoing, why can't you? Stop making excuses and shifting blame. Ask yourself, what could I have done differently to produce a better outcome? Instead of passing responsibility around, you will discover freedom and growth the moment you dare to admit your part in the problem. Sign 8. Often comparing yourself to others and envying their success. You see someone buy a house and you automatically assume they got family money, or that their career progress comes from nepotism rather than merit. If you always attribute others' achievements to luck, it means you're unwilling to recognize the effort behind their success. From the Stoic viewpoint, Seneca says, another person's success doesn't take anything away from you. Why resent them? If you look at every success through eyes of envy, you fail to identify which lessons you could learn from them. Try asking, did they sacrifice a lot of time and energy that I didn't see? Or is there a strategy here I can apply? Shifting your mindset from jealousy to learning helps you maintain a positive outlook and stay focused on your own path. Sign 9. Never feeling grateful and always wanting more, even though you already have a lot. Instead of appreciating and enjoying what you've achieved, you constantly glance at some new thing and feel wronged for not having it. Stoicism puts emphasis on daily gratitude. Marcus Aurelius practiced a routine of morning and evening reflection, asking what he already possessed and whether he truly needed anything else for a content life. When you ask such questions, you realize you've already got enough to start feeling at peace. Many people constantly want more, not because they lack something, but because they've never learned appreciation. If you chase after new things every single day, you will eventually get exhausted and miss out on enjoying what you have right now. A simple way to change is by writing down 3 things you are genuinely grateful for each day. It can be as small as a comfortable bed or a true friend. Remember, not everyone is as fortunate as you. Sign 10. Refusing to take responsibility for your life and waiting for some person or event to save you or change your destiny. Have you ever thought, I'll find a rich person to take care of everything for me? Or, someday someone will show up and help me with all my troubles? If that's your mindset, then you're very close to a toxic state of passivity. Stoic teacher Epictetus says no one can live your life for you. If you cannot govern your own actions, you will always be at the mercy of circumstances or other people. Instead of waiting for a miracle, take a small step today. Want to raise an income? Start learning a new skill. Want to change your physique? Begin with a 5-minute walk every day. Don't wait for someone to hold your hand and pull you up, because everyone has their own life to manage and won't pause just for you. Sign 11. Constantly seeking external validation from social media or public attention. Have you ever found yourself checking your phone every few minutes to see how many likes or comments your post received? Or maybe you get anxious if a photo doesn't perform as well as you expected, and you start questioning your self-worth. If that sounds familiar, you might be drifting into a toxic pattern where your sense of value becomes entangled with public reactions and digital approval. Instead of building real confidence, you become dependent on fluctuating metrics that you cannot control. People around you might feel you are inauthentic, always trying to portray a perfect image online rather than focusing on genuine connections and personal growth. Stoicism teaches us that true worth comes from within. Epictetus reminds us that what others think or say lies beyond our control, so attaching your happiness to those external factors is a recipe for emotional turbulence. Instead of scrolling endlessly and obsessing over numbers, choose to set personal goals that reflect your real interests and values. You can still enjoy social media, but treat it as a tool, not a mirror for your ego. Create authentic content, sharing ideas or moments that genuinely resonate with your life rather than chasing clicks or people-pleasing validation. If a post flops, so be it. It doesn't define your character or potential. You might even challenge yourself by taking a brief social media detox when you feel that pull toward constant comparison or anxiety. During that time, focus on learning a new skill, reconnecting with friends offline, or simply practicing silence and reflection. This little step back can help you see that your worth goes far beyond any number of likes or followers. When you return, you do so with a clearer head, ready to interact meaningfully and less prone to feeling like a victim of algorithms rather than a person of substance. Remember the Stoic view. A stable sense of self does not depend on the wavering opinion of the crowd, but on the unwavering voice of your own reason. Sign 12. Using emotional blackmail with friends or family to get your way. Have you ever felt tempted to withdraw affection from someone you love because they didn't agree with your plans, or you canceled a meeting at the last minute, then blame them for not understanding your situation? If you find yourself strategizing how to push people's buttons so they feel obligated or guilty to comply, you might be exhibiting a toxic trait. This behavior is like a double-edged sword. You achieve immediate control, but you damage trust and create a reputation for manipulation. Instead of nurturing healthy relationships, others learn to tiptoe around you, worried about setting off your next guilt trip. Stoicism offers a path out of this cyclical drama by reminding us that only when we govern our own desires can we avoid attempting to govern others. For instance, Marcus Aurelius talks about the importance of internal order. If you feel sudden urges to blame or to weaponize your mood, stop and ask, am I solving any problem by doing this? Or am I just trying to assert power over someone else? You gain much more respect and a stronger connection with people When you communicate directly, express your needs honestly, and invite compromise rather than forcing it. Consider practicing a brief moment of pause before you launch an emotional attack. If a friend disagrees with your plans, remind yourself that they're allowed their own choices and that their refusal does not invalidate your worth. You might also try reflection at the end of each day. Ask, did I use guilt or pressure to get my way? Or did I allow others the respect of their own yes or no answers? This simple accounting can transform your approach to relationships. Over time, you realize people stay with you out of genuine bonding, not because they're scared of your tantrums. Sign 13. Always stirring conflicts or drama in group settings. Perhaps you are the one who often whispers what you heard about her, and then sits back, watching how it explodes, or you enjoy planting doubts between two friends so they argue while you retain the role of innocent bystander. If you find a strange delight in watching relationships falter or tensions rise, and then you act as though it's everyone else's fault, you could be evolving into a toxic presence. The danger here is that short-term entertainment of others' misery leaves lasting damage on your character and reputation, even if you temporarily shift the blame. People eventually detect the pattern. Stoic wisdom would remind you that peace of mind comes not from sabotaging others' lives, but from nurturing internal virtues like honesty and compassion. Seneca, in particular, underscores the harm we do to ourselves when we induce chaos around us, since the turmoil we create outside inevitably disturbs our inner spirit. One way to break this habit is to practice radical transparency. If you have a disagreement or observation about someone, tell it directly to their face rather than brewing gossip in the shadows. You might fear confrontation, but understand that honesty saves everyone from lingering resentments. Also, reflect on moments when you felt tempted to stir drama and identify the underlying motive. Was it jealousy, boredom, or a need to feel important? Recognizing the root cause helps you choose a more positive outlet for that energy, whether it's learning a new skill, pursuing a personal goal, or just finding healthier ways to engage with others. Sign 14. Taking a passive-aggressive approach that leaves everyone confused. Imagine someone asking if you're upset and you respond, "I'm fine," yet your tone, body language, and silent treatment say the opposite. If you dodge clear communication and instead expect people to read your mind or guess why you're moody, you may be feeding a toxic environment. Passive-aggressive behaviors might include backhanded compliments, leaving tasks unfinished just to spite others, or making vague insults disguised as humor. Such tactics breed misunderstanding and frustration. Stoicism encourages directness and self-control. Epictetus would say that if you need something, speak your truth. If you're hurt, state it clearly. Expecting others to decipher your cryptic messages only leads to further distance. Try replacing the illuminated eyes and icy silences with a simple statement of feelings, such as, "I felt hurt when you canceled our plans," or "I need your help, but I'm not sure how to ask." By translating your emotions into straightforward language, you allow others a chance to respond constructively instead of tiptoeing around your unstated tensions. Taking this proactive approach not only lowers stress levels for you and others, but also builds respect and trust because people know exactly where you stand and what you need from them. Sign 15. Believing others should solve your personal problems or handle your responsibilities. Have you ever expected coworkers to cover your tasks or friends to fix issues you created and then felt resentful if they refuse? This entitlement is a strong indicator of a toxic pattern in society, where you fail to recognize your part in maintaining healthy boundaries and personal accountability. Instead, you place unfair burdens on other people, who then become overextended or start avoiding you. Stoicism reminds us that there is no glory in avoiding our duties and relying on others to pick up the slack. A true test of character is how willing you are to shoulder your own tasks and sort out your own troubles. For example, if you often run late, you might say, "My friend should understand I take time to get ready." But really, that's you shrugging your responsibility to manage your schedule and expecting others to be okay with it. Or, if you borrow money without making a plan to repay it, you are shifting your financial load onto someone else. Seneca would advise that such behaviors erode your sense of honor over time, because you become dependent on people who grow weary of your demands. Try identifying small areas where you can immediately take back ownership. Maybe you pledge to arrive on time or complete a task you promised without needing reminders. These small steps build a habit of reliability, making you a more respected contributor rather than a liabilities magnet. Ultimately, you demonstrate that you are capable of standing on your own 2 feet, earning genuine appreciation, and freeing others to enjoy your presence without the burden of constant rescue. With these 15 signs, you now have a comprehensive picture of how toxic behaviors can manifest in everyday social interactions and how Stoicism offers powerful strategies to correct and reshape those negative habits. From Epictetus's focus on internal control to Marcus Aurelius's advocacy for genuine action, you have the tools to reclaim a healthy mindset and rebuild any relationships that may have been damaged. Remember, you don't need to be perfect, just willing to progress step by step. If this content resonates with you, please hit like, share it with others who may need these insights, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more guidance on using Stoic philosophy to become your strongest, most centered self.